Hello, 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 and welcome to Coming Into Being. We are getting settled, getting oriented, getting ready. So just have a seat, have a cup of water, a cup of tea, whatever suits you. Marianne, thank you for being here for us today. Well, thank you for being here too. Thank yourself. I'm going to go over to Instagram to get that going also. Wow, that was fast. That came up so quickly. Boy, that surprised me. And Karen, Elise and Karen here jumping in already at the beginning. So, first thing is for in 2 weeks on the 29th in Sydney. Yay. Having tech issues today. It's got to happen somewhere, I guess. Sorry, I'm laughing because Instagram came on so quickly here. Usually I have to wait a few seconds and it just popped up immediately. And here you're having technical issues. So if it's not one place, it's another, right? But yeah, so on the 29th of Wednesday, so in a couple weeks, we're going to have our special event. So I just want to say that this is going to be like a special event, not just another coming into being with a special focus. So uh, um, I'll aim to make room at the end for a little bit of conversation, but otherwise we're not to be focused on the chat. We're really going to dive in deep. So this whole piece around the heart and coming into the heart. And got to set up my screen here better. Asta joining on the other side. I had a feeling I had to lower that screen so I could see who's popping in over there. So yeah, and on my Instagram channel, if you're there, we've got a small bunch of people over there just hanging out, and just I kind of post more thoughts. But basically, we're going to start right at 7 on the 29th, and it's 7 o'clock here, my time. So whatever time it is for you there. And it will probably run about a full hour. And we're gonna focus in on that whole piece about being in the heart and living from the heart, which is getting to be more and more crucial at this time for various reasons, and just needing everybody being in that place where we're stepping into that so we can live a more aligned life, and aligned not just to ourselves but aligned to all of existence. So yeah, if you're on Telegram, consider joining. It is a private group, so you have to get the link. So you can get in touch with me because I have my own thing on Telegram, which I think I'm just Marianne Gardner. I don't know. I don't connect. I don't send myself messages, so I'm not sure. But uh, yeah, and the channel is unbounded and free. So you're welcome to join. You don't have to, but and I'm going to. It was just the easiest, but everybody's used to being on YouTube, so we'll do it on YouTube. But I will make this into a private event. So switch the access to private from public right after the event. So you can only come back to it if you have the link, and anybody who joins will have a link. Our regulars will definitely get a link. So anyways, settling with this. So let's take a nice deep breath in, release, and just reorient from all that blah 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 I just did. Settling into yourself. And so Sydney's message makes me think to say this, that, if you happen to get bumped off, just stay right where you are, and just kind of continue kind of maybe more internal, more meditative state. So if you lose the connection while we're still going, that's okay. Just stay on and stay connected and take that time for yourself. So that's a way to stay in control and in charge of your own space, of yourself, your own time kind of thing. And the tech loses it. You let the tech lose it, but you stay with it. You don't, you don't need the technology to connect in. Which brings me to mind last week. Yeah, I kind of just tune in to the people who are usually here. And if you're not, apologies, but I just bring in the ones that to start with, and then anybody else can join in. But you can really see in the ethers, who's at spirit level, who's tuned in, and who's more tuned in and more actively saying, okay, let's join in. And if you don't choose to do that, that's okay. But just saying that this goes beyond technology. This is our own technology. This is our own inherent technology of existence, is that connection through the ethers, through the energy, right? And even right now, I'm live, but we're not in the same room. We're not holding hands or anything. But etherically, we are connected. So yeah, let's just take another deep breath into that and settle in even more deeply. And it just takes slowing down the mind. And Rebecca, hello. Slowing down the mind and coming into that breath, being aware of that breath, and seeing if you can make it a little bit more kind of rhythmic, where it's pretty balanced, in and out kind of thing. Rebecca, come back and listen to the beginning where I talk about the 29th. We're going to do our little special event on the heart, so to get the information. But basically, it's just going to be, instead of a regular coming into being, starting right at 7, right on the dot. Yeah. Give it a nice, long, hard exhale, releasing everything out. Anytime that comes up and you're noticing, okay, there's a lot there. Let's just stay centered. To help, sometimes in those situations, you can just to help you kind of stay clearer for yourself. Doing that exhale through the mouth. And even just visualizing, also just releasing all that trash, that energetic excess stuff. All right. And as you just become aware of your breath more deeply and focus on having that kind of more rhythmic breath for yourself. So what rhythmic I mean is like you have 4 in, count of 4 out, count of 4 in, count of 4 out kind of thing. Or 5 or 7, whatever, how many counts you do it a little bit longer. So if normally you would do 3, see if you can kind of do 4, count of 4, if your regular breath is at a count of 3, just to help you kind of expand that way. And as we get into that regular breath and just being aware of our breath and aware of our bodies, let's slowly allow yourself to just drop down to the core of the earth. Yeah. Everybody's in a nice space. I think a bunch of you are probably doing the silent immersion. So that's part of the space too. So with that in mind, I'm going to direct, if you're doing the silent immersion, and Asta, that's just somebody that some of these people follow, Oracle Girl, that some of these people follow. She does this kind of month-long offline meditation retreat kind of thing. So for those of you doing that, come into your body even more. Come into that awareness of your body even more. So you're a little bit diffused, and that's fine, but just for coming into being really connected more deeply with yourself. So take advantage of that to really get even more kind of a crisper feel for yourself. It's like crisper definition. Because you have the space of the immersion and you have the space here, kind of this double whammy for to support you doing that even more. Yeah. And keep focusing in more and more on your body. So I'm going to push you a little to really come into that definition of self. Right, for coming into being. You can go back to where you were before. So this is just to give you more precise focusing um, for yourselves and identity. You know, it's amazing how many layers you can go through before you're really fully in. Um, I've been bringing up layers, like oh my god, you know, from way back. Like last week, the week before, these very deep, deep layers, and you think, okay, I'm really connected into my body. And then you go deeper and you feel this layer around you that's like, oh, whoa, okay, that's not me. That's I can clear this thing up now. Yeah. Either like an emotional layer or energetic layer or whatever. So really come into the body, that physical body. See if you can just notice your skin. Come into that awareness of your skin. So it's easy if you're wearing clothes, you know, or wear your clothes, you're touching your skin. Notice that texture of the cloth against your skin. And pull in even more so that it feels like you have it, you're seeing it from the inside and looking out, and there's this layer of cloth. Here I am inside my body, and there's this layer of cloth. You know, or if your hair is touching your neck or your cheeks or something, or put your hands. My hands are kind of cold right now, and so that contrast of the cold hands on my cheeks. So pulling in so that you really get to that place where you feel that you're on the side of the cheeks, you know, with what I'm doing. And the cold of the hands is, okay, it's right here. I'm here and it's right here. And I'm going to bring you in more deeply into the earth also, just to emphasize all that. Making use of the good juju to go deeper, to sharpen our skills here. Yeah. Okay. So you might be noticing it's just there's a nuance of difference there as we just dropped in deeper. There's always deeper. There's always there is no end point here. We're working towards infinity. And if you get still enough in that inside in your being, your mind and your being, your emotions, everything coming into deeper stillness. There's a kind of a deep vibrational hum that's coming through. It's a pretty low frequency, so you might not hear it. See if you can have a sense of that. All it takes is slowing down the mind and slowing down, your state of being into greater stillness to feel things that are those deeper pieces. Huh. So yep, I do have a sense of that. Yeah, good. So just kind of soak it in here. That's actually, we've got a very deep grounding session. It's different than what we tend to do here. Just going deeper into the earth. And opening that space even more for that. I want to say being held by the earth, and it's actually creating an even deeper release for all of you. So very nice, yeah. And especially deeper release with the, I mean, it's your whole being, but there's an emphasis on, you want to do it by chakras, is the lower chakras, your legs and the lower chakras. Dog is now doing low growl. He's picking up on the vibes. Yeah, that's cute. Really cute movie, doggy movie on Gaia, if you have access. Yeah, we had a little bit of a, the movie on Gaia, Sydney, is called Rosie and Frank. That you would enjoy. Kind of feel like your dog is actually, wait, it's growling. So it's picking up that vibe, but there's a feeling that growl is relative to the stuff that's clearing out from people in the group. Yeah, very nice. I want to pull you in a little bit more, Asta, just because it feels like you're a little bit off to the side. So I want to pull you a little bit more into the center here, into with the group kind of thing, instead of being on the outer edge. And what's coming up? So this is kind of it's nice. It's coming up. There's like shyness. I feel like what's showing you is just shyness is joining in with a group, maybe a group that you're not familiar with or you don't know. I mean, you know these guys, but then there's this whole piece with a silent version that I brought up, and so feeling like you're not quite in. So let's just take a deep breath into that. Even if we're not doing something that a group is doing, We still have a way of contributing. I'm one of those people. In fact, I have an indigenous name now, and about being in between the worlds. So some of us, that's just our place, is that we're not really fully into groups, and that's fine. But to allow ourselves to come in with a group so that we can contribute what is unique and special about us, and thereby helping the group grow. So keep that in mind, all of you. You know, it's not about whether we're part of a group or anything. It's about holding our own, and from that place, contributing to the group, because everybody grows that way. We don't have to be in with groups. You know, it's good to be able to do both. Yeah. So there we go. And my sense is there's been this thing with groups, is that, and it probably resonates with a few people here, I think is gonna, is this piece around, there's hesitation in being part of a group, because we've all experienced abuse in some form or another, through groups, you know. So shifting that out, and opening that up more for all of us here. Yeah. There we go. Yeah, that was a nice shift for the whole group here, just into a higher vibrational level than where we were 5 minutes ago as a whole. So a few things got shifted out for people, which is good. Yeah. Yeah, very nice. Because we're talking about groups and connections and this thing sticking out, everybody bring your awareness down into your lower abdomen. I was like, that can get some more clearing there for people. Of course, that's about our connections to anything and everything. And we're going to do a little bit of clearing here. There's nothing that looks really nasty, but it's, I'd say it's too crowded. Too crowded in there for everybody. Too many people in there. There should only be one person in there. So let's clear out the party. Yeah, and even when people are well-intended, well-meaning, get along with them, having something in you that's not coherent for your system will create, some of it right now it feels like rough, like what's a better word than rough? I mean, almost prickly, not quite, but it's kind of getting on that edge where it's just, yeah, just a little bit of a sting there. And so the one of the harder pieces to work with is when that appearance is nice. When that appearance, that external appearance is abrasive and nasty, even though we get patterns that pull us back into that. But it's easier to just like, get away, get away. I got to get away from this. But when it's something that's good, that feels comfortable, that we feel at ease with, smiles and things that can kind of make us feel good, that gets trickier because that can be just as bad for us. Seduction is a form of manipulation. Seduction is something that has a way of just kind of taking you in and making you feel good and pulling you in. So it is a form of manipulation. In some contexts, sometimes it's okay to have fun with that, but it's about being in charge of ourselves and the choice coming from within. I'm deciding to engage with this now and fully maintain myself even as I go through that experience. Yeah, that's kind of an eye opener for some of you. Yeah, there's actually I'm surprised, it didn't look this bad a minute ago, but it falls into line with what I was just saying. It doesn't look that bad, but then you get enough of that in there, and it's like barbed wire, pulling barbed wire out. It's like, whoa, okay. And that's one thing we're going to do that I'll give you a little protocol you can do for yourself on a daily basis to keep yourself clean and energetically. So instead of you'll accumulate less. We can still accumulate because sometimes it just goes right by us, kind of thing. But to help you kind of refresh and reset yourself on a daily basis, on a regular basis, yeah. So that instead of having things build up on you, you will. This is for 2 weeks from today, our heart special. Wow. Mm. Yeah. Very good. A really good clearing here. Really good letting go by everybody. Let's take a nice deep breath in. That's really focusing specifically the new earth here. Yeah, bring that in. And so you might feel almost like some tingling, maybe some sensation in your legs, maybe buzzing. Because what I'm seeing for everyone here is like there's a new structures, new energetic structures that are going in. So that's very nice. Cleared up a bunch of old stuff. Let's bring in some new. Or tingling, or and it, you know, it might be physically, it might also be just that sense of tingling, that sense of that feeling sense as opposed to that physical sense. I'll get to your message in a minute, Sydney. The heart will the heart thing will help you also. This whole thing about, you know, is this my control pattern? Is it me? Is it, you know, look back on, so Sydney's little thing here, because this will be good for everybody. Last week had a detox. It became clear I need to go back to UK. I'm getting such a strong push to tie up loose ends and to choose somewhere as my home. Good luck with that. trying to figure that one out for myself. It's like, well, if you figure that one out, great for you. And maybe I won't know until I'm done here. But side note, is it my control pattern, or is it me, or is it something that's entering? Hey, Tanya, good to see you. Is it something that's entering my field? I'm wanting more control over my possessions over there in my life, my self-worth. So the heart piece, what we'll do, we'll get into that a little bit on the 29th. There's so for now I'll say I know that home is me. Yeah, that too, and you're looking for that physical representation of that, right? So look back on where when you've done decisions from that part of control. Go back to that and feel into that, and really see if you can bring up the experience, and so that you feel it in your body of where you were when you made that decision. And then step away from that. Then you kind of like do a reset. So you might just walk off and go do something else. Take a deep breath, just to shift out of that, and then come into what this feels like for you. Okay. And then you can see the difference, and you might be able to even fine tune that and see, okay, there's still a little bit of control there, but this is feeling like this is, kind of thing. And that will help you also get a clear sense. I mean, it does make sense to me that there's something going, let's clear up those loose ends, because you're just kind of in two places, and something, I see that, something calling. It's like, home might be, take a little bit, but time to wrap things up, for at least part of that, tying those loose ends. How soon you go is another thing, but there's a sense of that kind of getting set into motion, because it's about bringing all of you in one place energetically. So it's not even talking about the physical things, but energetically bringing all of you, and that feels like that's part of the process of just reuniting all of you, kind of thing. Thank you. It is often a fear not belonging to myself. So that's fine. You've got the words for it. And what I want you to do is take that time and feel it physically in your body, how that feels in your body, so that you recognize it better, even more, like physical. How does that feel in your body? What's your body doing around that? So that becomes clear for yourself, in the future. I said with the last, and I need to sit with it again. If I do not return to UK long term, I'm super excited about returning at a new level. Yeah. And on spirit level, things never get rushed. Very rarely. They do sometimes. If it's a real emergency, like life and death. You're about to drive off the cliff because you fell asleep, so we're going to wake you up, kind of thing. That, yes, there's an urgency there, but generally speaking, whether it happens now or it happens 2 months or 2 years from now, it will happen at the right moment. So reminding yourself of that. I'm not saying you're in that place, but just a reminder. All right, nice deep breath in. So with the heart piece, there will be a little bit of, remind me, but because we're going to have a really full event. It's going to be great. But yeah, if that doesn't come up during the Q&A, bring that piece up about thing. There's somebody there pressure me to come back, and I'm aware of that energy, but I really feel like I just need to listen to me instead. Yeah, good point. And again, come back into how does your body, how you're, is it tightening certain areas, other areas it's not flowing? You feel the constriction of the flow. You feel your heart beat change. You feel your energy pulling up, pulling down. All that kind of stuff. Really kind of fine tune that for yourself. So yeah, there's a little bit of pressure, and that's fine. That's good. So that's out there, and I need to be here. Yeah. So there's a little bit of both there. So you got your answers for yourself. Oh, good. So, all right. A deep breath in. Yeah, Tanya. Yeah, sorry I couldn't make it earlier. Let's see if we can just do a little quick thing for Tanya here, since she's got one of our regulars here, right? So take a nice deep breath in, everybody. Coming into that breath again. And this time, really come into that deep core of yourself. Tanya, you've got, what's showing up is you've got, it's like you've got externals, people in the form of people, not necessarily a lot, but there's just this kind of going on. That's not suiting you. That's not suiting, it's not doing you good. Impacting you. Yeah, there you go. Okay. Everybody, including Tanya, just really come into that core of yourself, pulling it in, and just kind of keep aiming your awareness deeper and deeper in. Yeah. Pulling in. Wow. So what I'm seeing, Tanya, is there's a little bit of holding on mentally, like you're and the holding on is to finding it's like the finding a solution piece, finding how to get, and so it's working at you mentally. So that's another good one for the hard thing, too. But just kind of coming into that breath, focusing on your breath, like right here, right now. You can put that aside. And these things kind of start becoming crown of thorns for us. Shifting that, yeah. And just opening that up even more for everybody, of just you, yeah. Everybody getting to a nice, deep, clear space. Yeah, very good. All right, let's just shift it all, everybody up. Let's shift the whole group. Up a little bit. There we go. Yeah, very nice. Stepping out of that. Yeah, feel that calm. Feel that inner, deeper stillness for everybody here. And don't beat yourself up. Also notice, also it's brought to your attention that you're not in the place that you thought you were. That's okay. Don't beat yourself up. It's like shit. Okay. Just, not more than a second. We all do that, It's like, because we want to be at our best. We want to be the best person we can be, honestly. And sometimes just we get caught up in things, and it doesn't happen that way. So just take a deep breath into that for yourself. Just like, oh, okay. And tell yourself, it's just like, okay, yeah, I could have done better. I spent a whole month with family visit. I could have done better, but did the best you could in the moment, and you work through stuff and you get into a better place. Asta, you feel a lot, you're looking a lot better now than you were earlier and more joined in. So that's nice. Asta just feels like it's being part of groups has been challenging for you. And there's just kind of this openness around that, like social groups, it's just, right now it's looking like it's like, oh, okay, this is, I feel like I'm seeing like this little girl kind of like saying, oh, good, I can play with people. I don't know if that makes sense to you, but that's sort of how it's showing up right now, or how you're showing up at that deeper space. Yeah, very nice. There's a little bit of yeah. So there's a little bit of holding on by people for external structures, and sometimes external structures. So things that this piece is about, kind of along the lines of what we don't want to have around us in society and all of that. Okay, as I'm talking about, it's shifting some. And sometimes we hold on to that. It gets held on by our system because we're going, I don't want that. I want this. Whatever this is, I'll just point to myself here. So by doing that, we actually create more space for that. I don't want that we don't want. And so it starts to structure it in energetically into our energy around us. So work in progress of developing that ability to be able to just be really holding that space of, this is what I want. And when something comes along that we know is not what we want, let's face it, it's like there's just stuff out there. It's like, I don't want to get involved with that. Holding that strongly enough so that it's the best way I can describe it is, it's sort of like you're skimming the surface of what that don't want is. You're just skimming the surface and identifying it, and that's it. And you're really more anchored here. So notice that for yourself, of how much you kind of like tighten up or whatever, react in whatever way to, I don't want that. And you may need to feel that, I don't want that. You may need to feel that constriction, because that will help you to say, okay, time to really step out of it and move away from this. And then slowly, just not referring. And if you keep having it pop up in your mind, that means it's still in your field. It's still in your space. But if you can pop in and then pop out really fast, you might mention it and then you're off to something else, and it doesn't keep coming up in the back of your mind, then you're good. But as long as it's kind of popping in back there, more or less, it's in there. It's in there, even if it's just a little bit, just kind of like, like that grain of sand. You don't need that pearl. You can get rid of that piece of sand before it gets there, because then it's really harder to get rid of. Okay, nice deep breath. So at the beginning of this, again, just going into a little bit more of the 29th, we'll start right on time. I'll start right on time with whoever's here, and then it's fine to join in late, but just know that I'm not going to be. And you can say hi in the chat, but we're not going to go into kind of like looking at the comments and answering. We're really going to kind of focus in on what the fun is, because we will have a bit of things to do. I have a bit of things to take the group through, and it's not necessarily a lot, but then it takes that time. We want to give it that time to and focused energy on really connecting you guys in to the heart space. No, it's a beginning, so it's not like a one-time thing, because it's always that deepening process. We're working towards infinity here, not towards an endpoint. Endpoint is the end of time, but we've got a ways to go before that hits. And then it won't matter whatever we're doing. It's over. Everything's over by then. But until then, it's infinity, and everything we're expanding more and more. So I would talk a little bit about that, and also posted. I think most of you, I shared the information with you, Asta, and everybody else here that's here. So next week, offline, silent, and even if it's just 5 minutes, it's at 7 o'clock or at the starting time, whatever your time is, to just kind of take that 5 minutes, connect in. And then you need to go off and do something else, that's fine too, because that will anchor you at that spirit level, at that energetic level more specifically. But you're still kind of there. People are still, when I do it, they're still there. Just you come in more strongly, kind of thing. So that's always fun. Okay. Good session today. A lot of good clearing. Good to see you guys. Good to see you, Tanya. I missed you the last couple times. And again, Sydney on Gaia, and anybody. It's a really cute movie, Irish movie, dogs, with a dog, called Rosie and Frank on Gaia. It might be elsewhere, but it's definitely on Gaia. I just watched it last night. Very nice story. Okay, I think that's it for today, guys, and we'll see you in the ethers next week, and then the week after that we'll have a blast. We're going to have a great session. Thank you, Marianne. Big hugs. Yeah, big hugs to you, Tanya, and Rebecca, and Asta. Thank you all, guys. I enjoy that. I love doing this work. I love doing it with people, and it's sharing this with people and sharing the space. So thank you all too. All right, we'll see you next time. Take care, everybody.